The moment you've been waiting for. Your 3 favorite handsome men, hailing from Pittsburgh, New Jersey, and Fishers.
I'm sure his whole house enjoys this.
Oh yeah,
Kids are going to bed.
Yeah. Is that what they're wearing? Yeah. Purdue's wearing gold lids, white shirts, black pants. I just got an update.
Gold lids, white shirts, black pants. I don't mind that look. That's not bad.
I'm sure you're okay with that look.
It's good look. It's good look. Oh no, you tweeted out the wrong link.
No, I didn't tweet out the wrong link.
I don't think you did.
Here. Not this time. Not this time, okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Ultimate Boiler, if you can hear me, are you the same Ultimate Boiler that used to be one of the faces of the paint crew? Is that the same guy? I think it is.
I used to be.
You were a face, absolutely.
I was a face of the paint crew. Yeah, because it was penultimate.
Hey, I'm here all week.
Oh, that's such a stupid joke. It's so stupid. I was because it was one of the few colorful faces in the crowd, and so for diversity.
You mean like a lot of personality? Is that what you're saying?
Every time, yeah, exactly.
That's what he meant.
Exactly, that is exactly what. I don't know why Fishers sounded so funny when you said Fishers, but it just sounded funny.
I was gonna say from God's country, but that's really not completely accurate by our definition of what.
I've never known what you meant by that, and I've been doing this with you for 15 years.
God's country is West Lafayette.
Why is it West Lafayette?
Because it's the place where
God smiles on Purdue.
Smiles upon.
Or doesn't smile.
Or plays tricks.
Or punishes Purdue. For whatever reason.
Why does God hate Purdue? Really. Yeah, God punishes anybody. Whoever comes into Ross Ade.
Yes, nobody comes
into Ross Ade.
I'd like to start off the show, if I may, by thanking our partners, our friends, our lovers. That might be a little strong. Probably not. I think it's appropriate.
I think lovers is fine in some cases.
Martin Vintage. Great place. Boiler Dad is sporting. If you're looking at the live stream, Boiler Dad is sporting a beautiful Martin Vintage shirt. Enter Boiled at checkout. You get 15% off. Hey guys, it's time to start buying Christmas presents.
Oh, you better get on it, guys. Don't procrastinate this year.
Nope. And speaking of that, this isn't just a line. Our friends at Gridiron Metalworks. If you have someone in your life who's not the easiest to shop for, I'm telling you, start there because you will find something cool.
You'll get some, and they'll open that thing and they will be gobsmacked at what they get. Seriously, because it's such cool stuff. And number one, the box will weigh like 700 pounds, and it doesn't matter what you get. It's gonna be heavy.
How they make any money with shipping involved. I don't know.
I don't either. I think Derek's some sort of.
It's 15% off if you enter Boiled, but the shipping is $400. But no, that's not true.
That's not true.
That's the wild thing. It doesn't make the business case doesn't make any sense. The shipping is far too reasonable,
and they're paying Sadler like what?
$1 million.
Yeah,
I think it's $2 million.
Yeah, they had to woo him away from the big. Yeah. He had an office that looked over the whole.
They're only paying him $1 million because his buyout from Purdue is a little bit larger. Yeah. It's buyout season.
Right, buyout season.
Right. And before I forget,
isn't it great, Anish? Isn't it great? The chaos wheel is spinning.
Before we get into the chaos wheel, one other partner, our friends at AJ's in West Lafayette. Yep. eatajs.com. Please go by. There's not a 15% discount, but if you go in and say Bullet Sports sent you and Boiler Dad says you will give me a hug, then one of the guys will give you a hug. Guaranteed.
Yeah. Well, the problem we have is who's working that night. Because if Adam's there, he would gladly give that hug. But,
absolutely.
But not just
sorry,
anybody.
I didn't mean to jump in on your chaos season is upon us, and yes, it is amazing. College football is such a gift.
Time out. There's Max is here.
There's mayhem. Stop the press. Okay, we can start now. Max.
Now we go.
That's another thing. Not for the first time. I'd like to point out we have created a monster with some of these people. Like we used to just haphazardly put up pods, and now it's like if it's not the minute I say we're going to be on, people are like, "Is it the wrong link? What's going on? What are we waiting for? It's 9:06, you guys. Cool it. Take it easy. Now you get a little glimpse into what it's like whenever we record. We always say a time. It used to be like we'd say 9. And we start recording at like 10:15.
Yeah, it was really bad.
But that was when we had the hour that we couldn't put on air as well.
Yes, it was not recorded.
We don't record everything.
It was good time.
We used to, but we don't anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
So John Fager wants to get right into talking about things, and since he said it, I don't want to forget. He thinks even though Northwestern is bad, the Wrigley game is cool. And so I just want to state, I know I can speak for both.
Is anybody going?
Football games in baseball stadiums are stupid.
Absolutely garbage. However,
Anish, tell us why you want to go.
Because if I have to watch this game, it's a disaster. It's already.
The point is, you should be able to face out of the stadium and have just as good of a time.
And it's fine. And I'll be surrounded by all of my loved ones, and it'll be for the first time in years.
Awesome. Did you say all of them? But we're not going to be there?
No, I just said all, but I regretted all immediately. If we have to be honest, many of them, several, I should say, several. Let's go with several, because I don't want to say I enjoy everybody.
Is this any of the guys who were in?
This is
Nashville
a different
time we went there for hot chicken.
See, that's the A crew. This is the B crew. Oh, so I got multiple crews. I got multiple crews.
Wait, so B is lesser than A.
Oh no, they do.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But they're not the B.
No, they're not listening. Actually, they might be. Oh, that's crazy. That's how you know they're the B crew.
Maybe they'll be listening as you're going in, like you'll have it on podcast, and you're just going to ruin the whole day.
All of a sudden, they'll just turn to Anish slowly.
They give me enough nonsense so I can give them a little bit back.
So Anish will be
I'll be seeing my brother, and he's very he knows he's not an A or a B crew.
He's if
you haven't met Anish's brother, talk about A crew and B crew. I mean, we got the B crew. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
He's F crew, but he was unavailable.
I am going to the game because the pregame of the Iowa, like before the Iowa game, during pregame, I said if we beat Iowa in that group chat, I will buy a ticket immediately and smooch all of you directly on the mouth. Now
you have to do it.
I have fulfilled at least half of that vow. Mm-hmm. And we'll see where the other half goes. But I am happy because the season ended up not garbage after that. We got at least like one more, marquee win after that. And if I have to see this game, it's a disaster. I hope Purdue destroys them. I hope you don't even have to watch the game and you just hear the Purdue fans around me cheering. It'll be great. If I have to watch it, that's when it's going to be.
Because that'll mean the game's in contention, right?
It should not be, or it should be at least comfortably in hand the entire time.
So, can you do me a favor? Bring up Ultimate Boiler's most recent comment, just because I want to address this.
Okay.
He says,
"You can read it out. Your voice is better." Go.
He says, "Be down. I feel like I upset you with my comments and Edie and Ivy on your quick cast the other night. Please love me again." Sad face.
Okay. I listen. I came back at you pretty hard.
You know.
Yeah, so he commented after the quick cast. It was what he said is it sounded like a glass half empty type of thing. Like he was like, yeah, he hasn't gotten better and he hasn't this and this. It was like it was kind of somebody expecting more than what he's gotten. Okay. And so I came back and I said, hey, listen, here's what you need to recognize about these guys. They're not sneaking up on anybody. Other coaches know about them. International coaches know about both these guys. And every team that Purdue plays, they put special schemes in to stop those two. And if all they do is draw double teams and triple teams, which they already do, they're going to help Purdue win games. I think part of the reason we're not seeing them come out every game as the absolute story is because teams are trying to take that away from Painter. And Painter's like, okay. And the good news is both of them are unselfish enough to say, I'll get rid of it, right? Edie's been a little soft with the ball around the hoop. I think that's a fair and he's bringing it down too far. That's the criticism I would get. I think Ivy's ball handling looks very much improved. And I think his mentality to pass first out of the lane is excellent. Like, I think it's for a guy who's got the capabilities that he does in so many different ways, he's looking to kick the ball out a lot. And I'm not mad anyway, man. You're doing great, Ultimate Boiler. I don't know your real name, but no, seriously, I'm not mad. I'm not
Ultimate.
Mad. Yeah, Ultimate. So no, we can go on. I apologize. I don't want anybody thinking that if I got a beef, I'm going to bring it, but I don't have any beef there.
He's just cranky at all times. You got to know this. Yeah. Everybody's got to know this. That's the jig.
That's it. That's the whole thing. So
it's the rub. Okay. Yes. So this will be hopefully. So that kind of is a good way to frame this. The beginning of the basketball season, particularly this last game against what might be one of the Horizon League co-favorites.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they might
This
be
team was a 25-win team 2 years ago,
They're
and
not bad.
19-win or something like that last year. That's a good team. It's a good team.
They looked perfect that game.
Yes.
I mean, like, not perfect in that like every aspect was flawless, but perfect in that how the heck,
How would
like,
you beat that?
how? I know they're going to
Yeah.
get beaten.
Of
In
course.
fact, I hope they get beaten several times before February.
Oh,
Like,
gosh.
I hope
Yeah.
that there
They
is a
were-
little bit of a, hey, let's learn our lessons. I hope
Yes.
there are a couple losses. I hope there are a couple of that. That being said, there are 9 starters on this team. This follows, maybe, after the next 2 weeks, a Purdue football season that genuinely could go further than any of us, even the rosiest among us,
Absolutely.
predicted
Predicts
in the
it.
preseason. I just put Tisks in the middle of everything now.
It's
Because-
almost like
Predicted is a
Snoop Dogg in his
prediction.
heyday, right?
Yeah,
Adding
it's
IZ in the middle of the word.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's great.
I've been drinking. It's okay.
Funny things happen.
But the thing, it's like this could be so. And the other point is that
This
we have
could
seen, Jaden Ivey is
Everlasting.
great, but we have seen multiple Purdue players be national player of the year contenders, right?
Yeah.
We have seen, seasons where Purdue goes on in the regular season 19 game winning streaks. Things that we haven't seen are 2 top 5 wins in football and a real deep March run by a team that is not one injury away from disaster.
Mhm.
And so we could be kind of on the precipice of 2 seasons back to back that are that go well beyond what we're seeing. Again, I don't want to get too far ahead of this because basketball season is literally only 3 games in, but it's like, wow, this could be special. This is the best offense.
You guys remember this? And I kind of go a little bit back in the Wayback Machine. 2 years ago, I posted a post that I was really excited about. It was in the off season. I called it the breakthrough, where I thought everything could come together for both programs at one time, where we actually see them take leaps, right?
Mhm.
And it didn't happen. It didn't happen because I thought with Edwards and Moore, that was kind of the catalyst, right? But it looks like it could be Bell and Ivy that are the catalyst, and it's more,
electric,
yeah, absolutely, just electric. It's more than that, though, right? It's program building. This basketball team, this isn't like Michigan State's lightning in a bottle. This is something that took time and culture to get there, right? And I would argue right now in football, we might be seeing a culture being built.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I definitely think so.
Yeah.
We started off, but I want to come back to like what you started with, which is like the cycle of ridiculousness, which is the coaching carousel. And if I had fingers that worked on a keyboard, I would actually write something about this instead of just typing.
They don't work
thumbs
every
in the
time.
group chat. I try, and it just like you're seeing people fired after like 2 or 3 years, and you're not seeing people being given the latitude to actually build a foundation because everybody kind of wants, results right away. Accountability is now kind of a lot more out in the open, at least for wins and losses, for conduct, and all of these kind of ways that you make sure that the program doesn't function in the shadows like Michigan State or Penn State.
Yeah.
That's something else. But I'm talking about the on the field product. It's a lot easier for people to yell about like, hey, it's 2 years in and we're still not seeing results. And everybody is rich and nobody is happy. And nobody's happy because you can't build.
By the way, you said that the other day. You said that in an off the site conversation. I thought that's one of the most profound things you've ever said. I'm not joking. And I think this isn't just about college sports. Well, this is more money, more problems type thing, right? This is a philosophical thing. I think you hit on a massive profundity. There is money flowing in
especially
in
the top 4 leagues, right?
Yes, absolutely. And everybody's pissed off.
Everybody's mad. Every fan base is annoyed. Every fan base doesn't want to be, it thinks that they should be winning more games than they are. Like, this is part of why, like Ryan Nanny on the Full Cast was saying, like, be envious of Purdue, Because like there, if we do this fandom thing right, again, everybody has to get it in their heads. Purdue cannot win the way that football is structured right now. Purdue cannot win a national title, but what we can do is be nationally relevant.
Yep.
And these, like having a fun brand of football, having superstars on both ends of on both sides of the ball, like having these key wins, destroying these seasons for all of these pseudo contenders, like that's a way to be nationally relevant and fun at the same time.
And let's bring back an old marker. Jay and I used to talk about this a long time before Anish was even a glimmer in our eye, in our podcast eye. There was a standard that I think Anish that I think we all agree on now. But Jay used to say this all the time about what an ideal football program would be at Purdue and what the ideal standard would be. It's going to a bowl almost every year, contending for it'd be a division title now, but contending for that title 1 in every 4. That, to me, if you can have that and then have the things you're talking about, the fun brand of football, you will have a fan base that is happy as crap. We will just come to Ross Ade. We will follow the team around different places of the country because there'll be hope in the air, because what that means is they're pulling off a couple upsets a year and they're beating the teams they're supposed to, right? It's that simple. And I don't think it's outlandish.
Nope.
I think there's a lot of reason to think that the program is really striding the right way right now. The big question is, can the trenches, I think Purdue, like every great program, is going to find their success in the trenches. Look, when Purdue's won this year, the offensive line has looked really, really good.
Purdue is an offensive line away from like consecutive 8-win seasons.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's wild. That's wild to think about. But,
Bring Ben Cotton the comment.
Which one?
The most recent one up.
Let's see. Oh, here.
Yeah. I'm going to read this one. Ben Cotton says, but Mo J money, few problems. That's
sometimes.
That's true.
It depends on the amount of whiskey consumed. It's all very contingent on things.
I kind of say Mo J money for me. Few problems. I want all that. Just give it. I mean, I eat it all.
And Purdue could be in
and for Jay, Mo money, fewer problems.
Exactly. No, Jay money.
You got to bring that in there.
Historically, infinite amount of money, zero amount of problems.
Yeah,
Infinite now.
No problems at all. Exactly. Mo boats, fewer problems.
That is, you should buy more boats.
There's a country
boats
song
never come with problems
about how money can't buy happiness, and then the hook is, but it can buy me a boat.
Yes. It's a great song.
And it's a great way to look at it.
Speaking of like bowls, Purdue might be in a weird position to play 2 games, not just one, but 2 games in baseball stadiums.
That'd be great.
I'd go to both. I'm going to both.
Wrigley and Yankee Stadium, which is insane.
It's amazing, and I kind of hope it happens.
Vegas of baseball.
There, who knows? People could have bought refundable tickets to Vegas. Just in case.
Did he said bought?
I said Botten.
Botten and Ferdinand? Is that German? What happened there?
Yes, if they play in Las Vegas, it will not be in a baseball stadium. It will be in a glorious Darth Vader-looking football stadium.
So that's where that. I was trying to. That's where that game.
It's in the Raiders.
It's in the Raiders. Puck. How about that?
Yeah,
that is a bizarre-looking place. I saw it in person, and you guys probably have. You guys are Vegas guys. It is crazy looking out on the outside of that.
It looks like the Death Star.
Is it just south of the Strip? Is that where it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's right across the highway.
How do they find space to build out there? It's just it's so bustling.
It's so crowded.
How do they find the land?
Yeah,
the one thing you can say is they don't make you waste any time getting to gambling. You land, and as you touch down, you can see the Strip. It's not like all the other cities where it's like Indianapolis, where they put the airport like 45 minutes away from downtown.
Right. Denver's like that. Yeah.
Denver.
You can just walk.
Do you ever drive to the Denver airport? When you exit I-70, you're like, oh, we're here. No, it's like
you're not.
8 or 10 miles, and I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, you're not exaggerating at all. I took this in July. I took that trip. It was horrible.
But you're like, oh, we're at the exit. This is great.
I got a trade show. I'm going to be there tomorrow. Cool.
I heard somebody, like a comedian, say that Denver Airport is in Nebraska. That's what it feels like.
Not far. Well, it feels like you're in Nebraska because it's so down flat too, right?
Yes.
Wild.
Anyway.
Nebraska, where dreams go to die.
Oh man, Nebraska just keeps on losing, and it's so great.
Hey, J Money, did anything happen with Scott Frost? Did anything? Have you
got
are
the
you
old
getting
dreaded
anything
vote
in
of
your
confidence?
earpiece? Yeah. Oh,
Restructured his contract.
Well,
That's
by his
good.
volition. He did it on his own.
Did he?
I think he did. Well, I talked to a Nebraska fan this week.
Who would restructure their contract voluntarily unless it were to add a guarantee? Harbaugh didn't do that. He didn't choose to do that.
Yeah, I think,
What do you think,
same
want to
thing.
open up money to bring in free agents?
No, but what they did, they both had to have done it because it would actually cost the school more money.
But they want the job. Both of them want,
which is what I'm saying. That's their choice, and they could have just said, "Pay me, I'm done." Fine.
Oh, I can say that. Can I say that?
Yes, you can say that. You will be living your dream, and you deserve that.
Almost in excess
career.
of $650,000 currently, or 650,000, 650 million. It didn't even process in my head. $650 million being paid in buyouts.
On that subject, remember how we were like, remember when Jimbo got his contract of 10 years and 75 million, and we were like, nuck and futz, man. Just that's the clean version.
Yeah, good work.
Did you see the offer? Have you processed the offer to Mel Tucker? It's 10 years, 95 million.
Yes.
Everybody
is
rich.
Rumored offer. Did you see that one?
Well, but Lincoln Riley is Lincoln Riley. But that being said,
it's this arms race, right? That was intentionally made higher than Tucker's, which was ridiculous. 96 million, 8 years. Holy moly. So Mel Tucker was talking on the TV, and my daughter's sitting there. I said, that guy's worth $100 million, Ellie. $100 million.
I actually think him and Jimbo have the same agent.
Well, because that's the question I would have is what's the buyout going to be? Is it going to be the entirety of the contract?
Probably.
It usually is anymore.
Yeah.
Which is why, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's expectations for success are instant. Every contract is structured this way, where it's this, massive buyout, and every coach has to have 4 years at least guaranteed. Usually it's actually 5 years on their contract
because of recruiting.
Yeah. Because of recruiting.
Yep.
And so if you dip below that, if you dip towards 3 is when you're on the hot seat. Right. So the minimum really that you're buying anybody out for is 3 years. The average is probably 4 or 5.
Right.
And so, but if you're in the Big Ten, if you're in the SEC, and then secondarily, if you're in the ACC or Pac, whatever, how many teams they have, you've got the money to pay that. Mostly, if you're in the Big Ten or you're in the SEC, you absolutely have the money to pay that. And so, all of these teams are filthy rich. I mean, even Rutgers is so much richer than they were before, and nobody is very happy.
No.
And because you have the money to do it, to have quick trigger fingers, and it's all fake money anyway. Like
you say that, but it's really not. That's the thing. It's like this isn't.
It's not
like,
fake. It's no,
fake because the buyouts are real. These guys end up being very, very rich, even if they fail spectacularly. Like it's not fake.
But it's contracts in the football.
It doesn't make sense.
NFL, that's fake money because you can sign a guy to $100 million deal. If it's not fully guaranteed, it's fake money.
That's right. So you're right. It is guaranteed money to the person, but it's not money that's going to facilities. Exactly. It's not coming out of a bank account.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's fake money.
Can you bring up Vortex comment there? This is a great point. Yeah, but it's like 37% tax rate. Who'd want to pay that much in taxes, right? That's a great. That's
why you don't want to win the lottery. It's more money, more problems. You want your 1-bedroom life.
Listen, I'm going to say that I would like to try to pay.
I will gladly pay my fair share.
Just give me a couple of years to see what it's like. Maybe I won't like it. Maybe I will. I don't know.
We should give you a chance. You know what? We should give you a chance, and I hope that in saying that you give 5% to your manager.
Yes, okay. I can tell you this much. Like, so if you guys are generous guys, I know that you don't talk about your generosity, but think about the things that the people that are benefited, even if you're smart with your money. Like there are so many people. There's an industry that's created. The Mel Tucker Industries is a powerful brand now, right?
Oh yeah.
My gosh. That's so much money. I remember Jermaine O'Neal, when he signed his big contract, I was like, if this guy would just let me be on staff for 1%, the things I would do, it would be awesome.
It's silly season. It's absolutely silly season. And that's why I'm glad to have Jeff Brum and Matt Painter, and they're building stuff.
About how fast it's not just how ridiculous it is, it's how fast it's gotten ridiculous. Like Danny Hope was
10 years ago,
$800,000.
Right.
And do you remember what did Tiller make?
500, 450 to 500.
He ended up
towards the end. He ended up getting close to no. I don't think he ever did. I think he got to 9. Maybe
I think he was above. I think it was like 1.6. And I'll tell you why.
You think it was that high?
Yeah, I think so. But it was only for like 2 seasons because then Hope came in.
Oh, yeah, 1.8. Wow, correct. His last season. But his base salary was
$1 million less.
That was back when base salaries were really low, and like if you coached one game of the season, you get a $500,000 bonus, and if you coach 6 games, you get another 500. Like it was fake incentives.
Right.
By the way, so there's 2 questions I'd like to bring up. Ultimate Boiler asks, have you guys seen the Death Taxes Matt Painter shirts from Rothstein? I need it. And the answer I have is no, I have not seen it because Rothstein has me blocked. He might not have Boiled Sports blocked, but he has my account blocked because I made fun of him one day.
How is he skinned? Is he a real person? Is he a human being with skin? Does anybody can people confirm he has skin?
Human beings.
All he does
He's a weird dude.
He seems like a bot. This seems like a fake account.
There was a post dedicated to this. I forget what site. It might have been the old Deadspin.
Have you ever seen him doing something live? I'm not kidding.
I have.
Okay.
I've seen him. He sometimes is on set on, I think, CBS, believe it or not.
He looks really, I don't mean to take this into an unusual place. He looks pretty handsome in that bio.
Well, but he kind of has
that's why he thinks it's kind of a bot.
Far away look.
Yeah.
He kind of has that.
Like a bot, like a machine.
Yeah. Like he's not really a person. Like he's kind of like an animatronic thing.
Yep.
And there was a whole post about how do you guys know, he like posts the same things every morning at the same time.
Right.
Like stay humble, stay hungry.
Right.
Rise and grind, that kind of, completely stupid crap.
Trite stuff.
Trite, exactly. But he does it, and someone said they determined that it's not, he didn't automate something to do that. Like, they could somehow figure it out. Maybe it's through the coding, like they can take out, like, he's posting that at the same time every day. He's a robot.
He has to be. He does not have skin. Human skin and flesh. This cannot happen.
There's a good comment. Ben is really bringing the thunder today.
Yeah, Ben's really. I don't know who
he's handsome, but he's not boiled handsome though. Boiled sports handsome. That's correct.
Or boiled handsome.
Boiled handsome. He's not boiled handsome.
Who is show right before the show? I was nice and boiled.
Keep thinking you're saying boiled hams.
Boiled hams.
So I told you, I was saying that we shouldn't have even fielded a team against Ohio State because Ohio State, I think Ryan Day had been replaying that game over and over again. And you know what? Ohio State was not playing around.
I put it on Twitter. I said, and I think you guys probably felt the same way. First of all, none of us went in expecting a win.
No.
We were happy to see Purdue's offense continue to hum along against a really good team. Yeah. And I said, my tweet was, and we're not always okay with this sort of thing. I said, Ohio State was making a point today. And I kind of get it. I kind of understand it. Not only do they have to hear about that shit for 3 years, they're still hearing about it. During the game, they were showing clips of Purdue running them over. Right. Then they had to hear how Purdue had just beat top 3 teams. I do not blame them one bit for laying it on.
This is why, for as long as Ryan Day is at Ohio State, we're not.
But the first time after that, after 3 years of hearing that crap, I almost respect it. Like we are going to show you, Purdue, you are Purdue. And I kind of am. I'm okay with that. That's what you do if you're that good. If they didn't show up like that, you could question how much it all means to them. But here's the other thing I'll say that also makes me happy. Not happy. I will say 2 things about that game. One, the defense wasn't going to carry Purdue every game of the season, and they almost.
That's not fair to ask them to.
So fine, you guys whatever. That was a really good team, and you'd see the differences when you
my
saw the
God.
speed gaps.
Those
like
receivers and that running back, when they caught it just in the day, like
Purdue would
kind of
have
in
the
the
angle.
gap.
That's when you can
And they
tell
would
when you
beat the
have the angle,
Yeah.
and they just go past them.
And those were guys like Graham and Alexander, who aren't pokey, either of them, right?
No. But I
they
will
could
say,
not. They could not catch up with those backs.
Is
That was
incredible.
Purdue, the only one team this year has scored more against Ohio State than Purdue did, and that was Oregon, who beat Ohio State. So I'm
Oregon
not
beat
moral
them?
victories. I'm just saying I'm pretty happy about that.
I'll tell you,
because-
Anish, I watched this game. How did Oregon beat them? They beat them because Stroud was not the same quarterback. I think it's kind of that simple. He couldn't find a rhythm against him. It's not because Oregon had him figured out. He was not there yet.
Wasn't
And the
that
next week, he got a little better.
second-
Week after that, he was really,
But wasn't that
really
his
good.
second college football game? He's a freshman.
Yes.
He's got 30 TDs and 5 picks. He's a freshman.
Yes.
When you want to see the differences between a program like Ohio State and
Right.
everybody else,
Right.
but especially Purdue,
Right.
they just churn in Clemson does it too. Freshmen who can throw 30 plus touchdowns in it. He's going to throw 40 this year.
Yeah.
And Purdue goes, oh, look,
He's a
we found
legit
the walk-on.
Heisman contender,
And
right?
he's
He may
great.
not win
Let's-
it, but he's a legit contender
For what?
for Heisman.
Oh, yeah. He's probably not going to win it, but
He probably won't, but
he should be
he's
in the
going to be there.
conversation.
He'll be
We
in
should
New
just
York.
skip. We should just skip the Heisman this year, or give it to that big old defensive lineman from Georgia. Because
That'd be
wow,
fun.
is Georgia good still?
Goodness.
Oh
Oh,
my
by
goodness!
the way, bring up Steve McCabe's comment. Everyone, you guys continue to all be so helpful. We now have stage direction from people listening to the show. Steve's reminding me, Jay, you had another question from Ken that you wanted to bring up. Did I?
I have
Are
no
you
idea.
in my head, Steve? So I guess Ken, if you want to go back a little, Ken asked about what I'm wearing.
Well,
And Willard,
see, I've got an extra one right here that he can't have.
so this
I got one up there.
So I can tell a little story about this. So this
I've
is
got a
this
flag.
is so our friends at 25 Apparel who helped us make this stuff. They do a thing they call OE, owner exclusive, and it means that they get it and not too many other people do. And one of the problems, I'm not going to go too far into this just because everyone likes to watch the show, but you see this on here.
Yep.
There are certain entities that might not love co-opting something that's train related and then distributing it for sale.
Those are tic-tac-toe, just tic-tac-toe
are.
boards.
They're ladders. They're ladders.
Yeah.
Ladder.
Oh,
Climb
It's
the
like a
ladder,
chutes and
baby.
ladder. There's the chutes are on the back.
Yeah.
Can't see them.
It's a quarter zip. For those, I got my microphones in the way. It's a quarter zip.
It's
You should be jealous of us, is what we're saying.
kind of got a
Oh,
little-
that's the good stuff.
It's got pockets.
That's
I
the
mean,
good stuff.
I mean,
You see that
it's
sculpted
pretty
frame
nice. Is all I'm
showing up
saying,
there?
Ken. It's pretty
It's
nice.
pretty nice. Pretty nice to be the owners.
Oh, I forgot which orientation
I'm
we
not
were in.
saying it's impossible for you to get one, Ken. It's not impossible.
But what happens?
But it's not
if we
likely.
But what if we wanted something with that sweet BS logo on it? Where would
Well,
we
you go to the Boiled Sports fan shop.
The OnlyFans. And if you do go,
Sports.onlyfans.com.
boy.
you
Dot
actually,
biz.
Biz.
actually, if you enter Boiled at checkout, you will get 20% off. We are one-upping our sponsors. 20%
We
off.
are
Apparel.
undercutting ourselves.
Apparel.
Just
Yes.
I'm not discounting the
not
rocks
these.
glasses because if I discount the rocks glasses, it'll cost more to ship them than it does for you to buy them. So
But the apparel is really nice. The hats are it's my favorite trucker hat. Genuinely, I love it. It's made really nicely. There are a couple really nice zips and quarter zips, and the t-shirt hoodies. Oh, I love a good run in a t-shirt hoodie.
the
It's
t-shirt
the best.
hoodie is made of like a.
Oh, it's
sublimated,
nice. It's
like
stretchy.
It's so nice.
It's stretchy and stretches around my curves.
All the right places.
Exactly.
Get a little sweaty and it's sticking a little bit.
Oh, don't make me. Don't make me.
You gotta come in like with a little mister.
I'm gonna what?
You're gonna come in with a little mister bottle. Not-
Okay, never mind. What's the next subject?
All right. Well, we're gonna talk. Now we're gonna talk about fashion tips from Jay.
Well-
things you can do at work to get noticed by your boss.
So Purdue is one game. By the way, I want to go back one quick thing about fun seasons. And I was having a thought about this today. Anish was talking about this being an unexpectedly fun football season. And yes, indeed. How about them Boilers, baby? Everybody's saying it. And by the way, we've talked about this amongst our group. How great is it that other like Shondel's doing it?
Yeah, it's great.
Like that's awesome. It's so great. And maybe Matt Painter will do it if they go to the Final Four. I think it would take something like that.
Maybe Matt Painter has never been excited in his life.
Matt Painter's never screamed something. Exactly.
No.
But
did you guys hear? By the way, did you hear another Big Ten team lost tonight?
Who lost?
I love. Ohio State lost to Xavier.
Yes.
Really? It doesn't surprise me. If you watch Ohio State play against some pretty bad teams and flirt with losing, they're not as good as their ranking.
This is kind of a gap year for them, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you see Indiana? Would they win by 2 against St. John's?
I watched the whole game. It was awesome because those two teams are really sloppy and awful. By the way, Wheeler has figured it out.
Yep, you knew he would.
Yep, he's got it all nailed.
Just the thing. The thing I would say about having a great season. So Purdue's a game out in the West, despite everything. And
they're a game out in the West. That's amazing.
Bro, they're 4-3 in the West with 2 games to go.
Yep.
Not crazy. Could be 6-3 in the division. And when we talk about really special seasons at Purdue and talk about whether they could ever play for a national title, I agree they probably can't, but they could definitely play for a Big Ten title.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have see if you can track with me here. I'm not obviously unhappy with this season, and if they win 8-9 games, obviously it's wonderful.
It would be a first 9-win season since 2003.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
if they win the bowl game,
when you look at a good season at Purdue, it's all about everything falling into place. Lightning in the bottle kind of expression, right? Like you can't have too many injuries. You have to have a favorable schedule. You got to get breaks. You got to overachieve, right? You got to do all these things. And Purdue has done most of those things, except they lost the Minnesota game that they never should have lost. And you'll never convince me that they weren't good enough during this season to beat Wisconsin, because they were good enough. If you do that, I know a lot of ifs, and I know
this is your 10-win dream. Are we going to bring that?
I'm not saying the 10-win dream. I'm saying if you want to compete,
like when I do my math.
But I actually want to compete for your division. That they're 4-3, they'd be 6-1 if they did that, because you were never going to beat Ohio State. That's how it has to happen.
What's fun to me, though, is that I actually think this hasn't been a perfect season. There were 4 games where they scored 13 points.
I agree.
I mean, like, so many things that could have fallen in place didn't, and Purdue is still 6 wins, 2 games left, 2 very.
I'm going to break the tie and go with Anish on this one.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's really it's remarkable that this was done in a year where like so much kind of like didn't fall into place, which is like in the late Hope era and the Daryl Hazel era. What we were talking about was there's no foundation here,
right.
And so the only way it gets good is if it's kind of this unlikely, like everything goes right. Right now, not everything could go right. In fact, many things could not slip into place, and Purdue could still win 8 games. That being said, let's win these last 2.
Can I tell you guys my key battle about this next game? This is like a statistical. If you look at I like to look at the stats, see if there's anything that pops out to me. I think it's interesting. Northwestern has a decent pass defense. I think they're like 4th or 5th in the league. Yeah, Purdue's pass offense has been good, especially the last few games. They figured out some things, right? So Northwestern should be able to do a decent job defending Purdue's pass. The battle to me that defines this game is hilarious. Okay, Purdue is last in the conference running the ball, obviously. One of the worst teams in America, if not the worst team in America running the ball. Northwestern is the worst team in the league stopping the rush. I think Purdue is going to bloody their mouth running the ball, and I think it'll be Horvath that does it. That's my big prediction.
Game from Horvath.
I think that's my big story. I think one of these last 2 games, either Northwestern or IU, and I think it's Northwestern, Horvath's going to kind of come back to where he was before his injury. I think this is the one because Northwestern struggles against the rush. That's my big prediction.
If David Bell is injured running into the brick wall in that stupid stadium, then I
Ivy Wall.
I may burn it down.
Plenty of
There's
padding
plenty of
on the
padding
ivy. Yeah.
on the ivy.
This time of year, there's not much padding. It's just
Those are
like
weeds.
sticks.
Those
Yeah,
are
exactly.
weeds. It's a brick wall.
They're vines. They're for sure vines growing on brick. Yes.
Yes.
It's a brick wall. It's a
Yeah.
brick wall. How is that? There's so many weird things that go on. We talk about player safety in different sports, but no, we're going to keep that brick wall out there. What?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's a little nuts.
Think about something. This is.
Is there a football? But there's no football stadium to play at in Chicago.
No, there's none. There's none in the whole metro area of Chicago. There's no football stadium. That's great. Here, think about this. Brock Thompson, one of my favorite new Boilers this year, had a catch in the corner. Beautiful pass thrown by O'Connell like 2 weeks ago. Right?
Who was doing the breakdown of that? They said that if the ball was basically thrown. I think it was on sports. No, it was Rome.
Yes.
We were talking about how the ball was thrown out of bounds.
Right.
That he literally had to reach and catch it out of bounds.
Right. His foot stays in.
I know
his
where you're
hands
going.
are out of bounds. It's a beautiful pass.
I know where you're going because they do that play this weekend.
You do that to the wrong corner, and you've got a concussed player, if not a dead player, because he's going to run right into the wall after the thick white line. It's that close. One of those corners in the end zone is absurdly close. So you cannot call that play to that corner.
For anyone remembering the last time a game was played there, we talked about this, but if you don't remember this, it's worth bringing up. The morning of the game, someone said, that looks awfully close. And they went out and walked the field, and then an announcement was like a bulletin, we're going to play just to one end of the field. We're going to switch every possession. Your only offense will only go towards home plate. And I'm sure that was awesome for the people who had front row seats in the bleachers right by the end zone. I'm sure that was great for them. Never seeing anything happen at their end of the field.
It's not ideal. Let's just say that. It's not ideal.
I hope that there's minimal game to see. I hope that Purdue is comfortably ahead. I don't think it'll be a blowout because,
because that'd be too.
That
John Faker says since they renovated it, it may be different. John, they didn't renovate the brick freaking wall. They put up a scoreboard. They improved the bathroom.
But on this side, they took the bleachers out so they can kind of bring it a little bit further this way. The wall stayed the same, but they changed the other side of it. That being said, I don't know. It could still be like a game time thing.
I've seen the aerial shots, and it's still very tight.
It's tight. Yeah, it's tight. It's tight. That one corner is tight. So Steve McCabe says that's why they do walkthroughs. Okay, so let's. I'll read the whole counterpoint. That's why they do the walkthroughs like that. But yeah, they should have realized that way sooner. So by this mentality, right? This is almost like the idea that when you go and you used to play at what's the old Astros Stadium? They had the little hill in the outfield.
Oh,
right?
Minute Maid or whatever it was.
Yeah, Minute Maid.
They took the hill out.
The hill's gone, right? And so what they should do is maybe have a giant pole on the 10-yard line just for fun, just something zany. This isn't the same as baseball. You can't have a cute story where a corner's cut off of the football field. It doesn't work that way. This game doesn't lend itself
where the corners cut off
to
the
creative
like you're playing in a neighborhood park and there's an oak tree.
Right. Maybe a rounded corner on one of the end zones and the other one has a really big corner. So you have like a 17-yard end zone on one side.
That being said, I could see 2 Purdue games played in baseball stadiums this year. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And he would do it.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding?
So the funny thing is, if you follow on Twitter and here, Jay is rooting hard and Nisha is rooting hard for Purdue to play in New York in December.
It's lovely weather. I heard it's sunny in New York. I've never been.
And balmy. It'll be great. Of course, I'm rooting for Purdue to play in Florida.
That would.
Is Tampa still a possibility?
Is the Citrus Bowl that's a possibility? That's the one I'm seeing.
I thought it was the Outback.
Outback.
They're talking about Outback now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
No. It's been talked about. I don't know if that's.
Yeah, I think the 3 most likely places are New York, Vegas, or Phoenix. I don't think Nashville will take. Yeah, I think
What's
Nashville
Phoenix?
will pass. Guaranteed rate or some nonsense.
That's a Big Ten bowl now. I know. I sent out that thing.
That's the pack. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's some nonsense. Those are the 3 most likely. If with one more win, Purdue probably ends up either in Vegas or New York, but we'll see.
They're in pretty good shape. I mean, that's the thing. I think they're in pretty good shape to get one bowl. Like your probability predictors have to be way through the roof for them to get to 7, right?
Yeah.
Right now.
It's so S&P Plus has them at, I think it was 90%, almost 90% that they end up with 7.
I don't know why it made me laugh. Vortec just said the Quick Lube Bowl or whatever. I don't know why that made me
I don't know
laugh.
why that's even funny. I don't see anything funny.
It's kind of
It's a great
wild
name.
that as much as
It's called the Quick Lube Hole. Is it Bowl? Quick Lube
Whoa.
Bowl. Sorry, it was Bowl. The bees kind of they ran into each other there. I'm sorry. I messed up the
it's kind
pronunciation.
of with the way that Bulls like go out of their way to not have the same team twice. Purdue had the Motor City Bowl twice during the Hope era.
That was a
which
long
is
time ago.
Ridiculous.
That's
yeah.
ages ago.
I see what you're saying. They had
No,
them
like
twice then.
it just happened 2 years. in a
No,
row,
I'll tell
and
you
it's
why
so
that
strange.
happened. Because Purdue drew well there because they're right up in Detroit. Purdue traveled well to that. And
Yeah.
the Motor City Bowl is different from other ones because they're not going to draw people. Just no one wants to go to beautiful
Nobody wants
Detroit
to go
like
there.
they want to go to Nashville or Florida. So you pull a team that's reasonably close that will draw
Right.
well. I think that's why that one's different.
That was one
I
of
think
the Dan Lefevre games.
Yeah.
Dan Lefevre.
3 in 13 months or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
My
That's
favorite,
so good.
like when you have these crappy bowls, there's always like the pregame is hilarious, and that one was like Painter versus Lefevre. You're like,
Ooh,
"Man,
Hey,
6
they-
and 6 teams.
They put yards up, man.
they did, but literally no one cared about those bowls except
No.
those two fan bases,
Except
Nobody.
us.
Yep.
Mitch Wright says seeing the Boilermaker special go down the Las
That
Vegas
would be
Strip
cool.
would be wild. I have to agree. That would be
Yeah.
super cool. They're going to get some good photographs if they do that.
Or you could just use Photoshop and say it happened, and then have them go to Florida. How about that? How about just Photoshop all of them? You guys can have fun with that.
I told
And
you
then-
I loved the little video, the like 3-second clip of it riding through the middle of Lincoln. Just as it goes through the middle of Lincoln, like before the game, like you're in trouble.
It's great.
We're still here.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's so great. I can't get enough of it. We never closed the loop on Nebraska. So my thought on that, real quick, because
Do you have thoughts on
Because
Nebraska?
you have some thoughts on Nebraska.
what I love about this, it's just like you said, Harbaugh and Frost want their jobs. I suspect that whole we're going to restructure your contract, or you have the option to restructure your contract. I'm sure that conversation happens, some percentage of the time where guys get fired, and they say, "No, I will take what you guys gave me or the buyout," and they say, "Okay, take the buyout," and that's not what happened here because Frost desperately wants to win there.
Mhm.
Oh man,
Yep.
I eat it up. I love it. Are we roasting Nebraska? When are we not? Says,
Yeah.
are we roasting Nebraska? Let's roast Nebraska. Well, they were off, right? Didn't they have a bye? They didn't get beat again,
They didn't get beat again, no.
but they have Iowa and someone else. I think they have Wisconsin and Iowa, maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
Well,
Pretty tough.
that's the way the cookie crumbles.
You feel sorry for them, it sounds like, guys. Don't you? It's the way the schedule kind of fell on them.
Nebraska, Iowa, anything could happen, and it would be the most hilarious thing. of all
Right.
time.
Either way, it's
Yeah, they're
fun.
at Wisconsin this weekend, and then they host Iowa. There's nothing better than Memorial Stadium just completely destroyed.
Iowa going to Nebraska and Scott Frost like rekindling some fire and Martinez maybe like having the best game of his career,
It'd be kind of
and
fun.
all of a sudden
All
Iowa
funny.
loses.
Yeah.
all funny.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Nothing not funny could happen that
No.
weekend.
Uh,
You guys, okay, if you were you guys are both betting men, actually. So I said if you were betting men,
If we were.
if you were
Is that legal? Can we do that?
Jay, are you you're holding your line, they're gonna win 8, right? You would
Oh,
be
yeah.
disappointed with less than 8. Would anyone
I'd still
in this
enjoy a
group-
7-win season.
Yeah,
if they
no,
only
I
won the
wouldn't
last
be
two,
do-
but
yeah.
it'd be disappointing.
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
I wouldn't. I mean, like I would
been
think
fun,
about
but-
it, but yeah, I this is still a fun season. I don't care.
Right.
Like, I mean, the most likely way to 7 wins is Northwestern and drop the IU game, and that would be a bummer. But that being said, like,
You know the old adage though, the way to 7 wins is through a man's stomach. I think that's the phrase.
I think that's how it goes. Yeah.
I think
that's so
it's it.
stupid.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. It's funny. Maybe not even funny, but
It
it just
doesn't
came in
even
my
make
head,
any
so I
sense.
had to say it. That's the way
Oh,
thoughts come in and the noise.
But no, 8 wins would be great. 7 wins would be fine. You know what I mean? Like, it'd still be better than
Well,
7
I mean,
wins
like
and 2
that's the
top
thing.
5
Knowing
wins.
what we knew coming into the season, or even like after 3 straight 13-point games, or 4
Yeah,
straight 13.
Exactly.
Games,
And you tell me 7
Yeah.
wins and 2 top 5
like,
wins.
Well, I'll
like,
take it. flipping
good.
right now.
We already
right?
got it. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's awesome. So, how do you guys feel about the North Carolina game that's Saturday, right?
And so that'll be a challenging one because I will be in Wrigley Field, which I assume will be packed with Purdue fans.
Mhm.
And the Purdue game is at noon Eastern time.
Yep.
And so 11 Central, and this is 3 or 4 Eastern, 3 Central. And so it's kind of right afterwards. And so the problem is that there are like 15 of us. And we are not getting
You're not going to be moving fast.
We are not going to get table for 15
Right.
in Wrigleyville, right afterwards. So
But you're also going to be kind of moseying. If Purdue wins the football game, you'll be taking your time out of the stadium, right? You're not going to. Why would you rush out, right?
This might be I do have to think about this, but it might be if Purdue has the game in hand, the first game I will have ever left before.
It's defensible if you're going to watch Purdue.
Exactly. If I'm going to watch Purdue play North Carolina, come on.
Yeah.
Purdue Bullet Sports will be fanning out this weekend for all of you.
Yeah.
We will be deploying across the country, and you shall be on site.
We're covering it,
It'll
and
be
by
live.
covering it, we're just going to watch it. And
Right.
if you see,
You will
us
not
there,
benefit from it.
No,
but,
not at all.
but-
We're not going to
but-
post anything. That's ridiculous.
And I will be in Connecticut at beautiful Mohegan Sun,
That's awesome.
taking in
Is it
for
a
the
good
second
arena?
time.
Are you going to be sitting leaning against the pad of the basket like you were last time?
I think he was actually mopping the floors.
Exactly, every time.
I don't know how to use a mop.
AJ Hammond was
Exactly.
sweating,
I
and
don't-
he was.
No,
Can't mop.
I unfortunately, and you guys know I'm not kidding when I say this, I was really annoyed that I couldn't get those kinds of seats this time because I got them last time. And
Yeah.
I'll go back to many of you have heard this, some of you have not. Brother Dad had a great line 5 years ago when this happened. He said, I remember when you said your bucket list was to sit courtside at a basketball game. He said, and now all you do is sit courtside.
Exactly.
Because
I don't know if you understand the bucket list thing. because if it just becomes the norm,
you guys should have taken that as a
Bucket
suggestion that
list
maybe I was
means-
dying. Like,
Right.
oh, look,
Yeah,
he's doing this
exactly.
bucket list
Should
item.
we be
he's
concerned?
been dying a long time.
Aren't we all?
But I've been
dying?
really living. So
We're all
anyway,
friends
no,
here.
you couldn't get the effing seats because I think things have changed for the worse in the last 4 or 5 years as far as the way ticket broker bots suck up as soon as those tickets went on sale. And I mean, the minute they went on sale, a friend of mine and I were on trying to get the best possible seats. And we're in one of the lower bowl sections, but not
What row
probably
are you? Can you tell us
15.
about the hard times? Where are you?
Oh, 15th row. Good
15.
Lord.
I don't and on a corner. And on a corner, like some sort of an animal.
There are
the
whole
horror.
14 rows of people between you and
Shut
the
up.
court.
I was
It's crazy.
on the
They're
MFing
all
court.
parents between you and the court.
I was on the hardwood last time.
Yeah, you were on TV a lot. Actually,
You know
That was
what?
funny.
You know what?
I was
One
like,
of my one
his
of my
mug is there
regrets,
every time.
Jay Money. One of my regrets, I think a couple years, maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
Yes, I know where you're going.
was when we had the like I was coming up for that was when I came up for either the Rutgers basketball game or the Rutgers football game. I think it was the basketball game, and that was when the Sixers were tanking, and the Sixers
really bad.
are not that far away from
Nope.
Chateau Le J Money, and the courtside seats or like maybe
What were
second row seats or something like
What
that.
were they? They were courtside. What were
They
they?
were
Couple
like
$100?
they were like less than 300. They were like less than 200.
And we were like, are we ever gonna get the chance to see an NBA game courtside?
I
And it was
don't
like,
even
and it
know
wasn't
who the
good. It was like
Sixers were. I don't-
Sixers Sacramento
Kings.
or
Yeah,
something
exactly.
awful.
Yeah,
And-
but like
But we
but
were
these are
close.
NBA players, and they're just so much better than everybody else, and so big, and like we could have been there at courtside, and yet we didn't. I think we chose to like spend time with your son or something. Ugh.
Yeah.
They say you'll never regret taking the courtside seats when you're about to die. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly,
Those are-
exactly.
No
They
one
say
ever said,
you'll
I
always
wish I'd
regret.
sat in the upper bowl more.
I wish
I
I would
think I
have
have.
gone to see the taking Suns.
I have been to this
instead of
arena, by the
spending
way.
time with my boy.
As you know, I've been there, and one thing I will say is it's actually a really good arena to watch basketball because it's, I don't know, maybe 5,000-6,000 seats. I could be off, but it feels very. It doesn't really have an
We talking
upper
Mohegan Sun or the Sixers?
Mohegan Sun.
Oh.
And the crazy thing about Mohegan Sun's arena is you'll be in the casino walking around, and then there's a bunch of doors, like
and then
where,
you're looking into the
like you'd be in an event center in Vegas, where you'd be like, oh, through those doors is where the concert is. Great, but when you go through the door, you're looking down into an arena. It's like it's very well designed in that sense because it's almost like they can trick you into whatever's going on in there. Like, just come through this door. We got you now. You're in here now.
Is that
now?
That's not UConn's stadium, is it? What's
No, the Connecticut
it's
Sun
the
play there.
WNBA
The
team.
women's.
the
WNBA
Sun.
team
That's
plays
it. Okay.
there. Which again, for a sport that sometimes hasn't always drawn as well, pretty smart to have it in a casino.
Yep.
Like, makes it really easy.
And honestly, it's kind of genius of the WNBA to put a team in Connecticut because, like, there is a huge women's basketball fan base in Connecticut.
Exactly.
I mean, like, that's actually
you
brilliant.
got people who really like watching women's basketball. Exactly. I think they do pretty well in that because of all of that. But it's a nice arena. It's super convenient if you're staying there, obviously.
So it's not like a lot of those ballrooms.
It's an arena.
It's a real arena.
Legit center scoreboard arena. That's what I like. Is it's
so
like
when you're at
like,
the 15th row, you're like not near the back of the ballroom. Yes,
that was the weirdest experience ever. I've described that to you guys.
Yes.
That game in Atlantis is ludicrous.
Yeah,
it literally.
You're on top of them, right? I mean, like everybody's close.
It only goes up like 8 rows, 6 rows, something like
It's
that.
so strange. It's a literal ballroom. It's like
a
where
literal
people
ballroom.
It
get.
looks awesome on TV though. The way they have it lit, it's like basketball from
They're
the
using
future.
those
Well,
like
because it's a theater.
right?
Yeah, it's nice lighting for the bride.
Mhm.
It's such a very weird thing, which I guess that's going on. Oh, next weekend. That's Thanksgiving weekend every week.
Oh, I love
assume it's
tournament
going
weekend.
on.
I love that. Holiday tournaments are so much fun.
Yeah. But they're not doing. Aren't they doing Maui now again in like Kalamazoo or something? They're
They're doing it again there. Darn it!
I think they're not doing it in Maui again. I think.
I always love seeing coaches in flowery shirts.
Yes.
Matt Painter would wear one every
That
week.
with a
He'd
layout.
always wear it.
It's
He'd
so
always
great.
wear it.
By the way, Matt Painter looked great this last game.
He looks great. He looks great.
Oh,
He's-
he
and
looks
he looks
so
like a
good.
championship coach.
Matt, I hope you're doing. I mean, you're doing well.
You're doing
man.
awesome. You're doing awesome.
Oh,
I bet you
I
don't
couldn't
have
change
to.
a thing.
What's the meat place on the way to Illinois?
It's called the Beef House.
Beef House. Did you guys? I think I sent you a picture. When I did my RV trip with the family a few years ago, we stopped for gas on the side of the road in Illinois, and we were across from the Beef House. And I was like, "This is where they
Awesome.
always stopped,
This is
right
it.
here."
It looks magnificent. It looks like Smith and Lewinsky's in New York, probably.
I think that's Matt Painter's middle name, the Beef House.
it's a great nickname. The Beef House. That is an incredible nickname.
I want nothing more for Painter than this season could be fun. Wow, this season could be fun.
Now this question.
That's a good line. Bring up Steve McCabe's. Should we not read that? Is that taking our joke too far? Should we not read it? Yeah, okay. It's
What
funny.
did it say?
It was great. You can read it. It's in the
It's
in the
there.
margins right now.
What's wrong with that? We make fat painter jokes all the time.
No, we don't. We allude to a chubby painter as a successful painter. That's a different thing. We're not gonna just go
We
right
wouldn't
over.
just come out and say
We're
it.
not just gonna say it. We're gonna
we
say
have-
right now that man has championship pedigree. That's what we're
We
gonna say.
have a-
Pedigree.
We're gonna
like
say
the
that every
dog.
morning getting up and having steak and eggs on biscuits. That's the way you get ready for
That's
a
the
championship.
championship coach eats.
That's right.
Um,
Like really people that take their weightlifting really seriously. They eat like 6 or 7 meals. Painter's in that mode. Because he's serious.
We got a couple of Twitter things, one of which could be saved till next week, but you never know with our schedule. The Noodle Triweb asks, top 3 side dishes for Thanksgiving and your go-to pie besides pumpkin.
Oh, the go-to pie is what's the where the pie's upside down with
Apple.
the crumble
Answer.
apple.
Apple's the right answer.
Yeah,
The crumbles.
apple crumble. Yeah, that type
Yeah,
of thing.
I love an apple
That
crumble.
to me, that's way better than apple pie for me.
I love it.
And I like apple pie, but
Well,
that's
you know why? Because the crumbles are just sugar and
Just sugar and
carbohydrates.
butter.
Yeah, it's
It's-
just
it's
sugar and
great.
butter.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
I mean, like, yeah, of course. You
My
put
wife
sugar
made
and
one
butter
this
together.
week for me.
As
Because
a
she
prep.
knows that it's like my thing.
You're
And
just
she
warming
made it,
up.
and I'm like, more
Look,
for me.
Boiler Down and Matt Painter are in the same
Oh,
training
yeah,
program.
dude, I'm looking like a champion right now.
You're prepping for
For a couple of
Thanksgiving.
years,
That's
I've
how
been-
you know you're a pro, when you want to stretch your stomach out before that.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like the Nathan's Hot Dog Championship. It's like you
Let me get
got
a
to
pie
prep.
this week, and that way I can
One
have 2
pie a
pies
week.
next week.
So do we
We
all
are-
agree Apple is the best? None of
Yes.
that.
Apple
Oh
pie.
yeah,
on Thanksgiving.
I am a sucker for a good apple crumble.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I make a
You
family
put a
recipe
scoop
apple pie.
of like a really high quality vanilla ice cream, or
Yes.
you
It's the only
Oh, yeah.
time I like vanilla ice cream is on a warm apple pie. Oh gosh.
I could eat
I'm-
vanilla ice
I'm
cream with the side of
salivating
an
right now.
entire bottle of Hershey's. But
Well, sure. That's not vanilla ice cream
we
anymore. Now it's
found
chocolate.
we found a place here. There's this we went to like a food truck festival. I think I'll send you guys
Yes.
pictures.
Yeah.
Went to a food truck festival this weekend. There was this unassuming guy, this bored-looking teenager, a young 20s guy, standing at a cheesecake stand. And he had like a couple coolers, and he looked disinterested, and it said Kyle's Cakes.
Uh-huh.
And so it looked like Kyle was his dad, but his dad couldn't make it. So, hey, son, please man the thing.
Would you sell some cakes? for
Exactly.
Dad?
And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, fine.
All right.
Completely disinterested look on his face. And we went up because they were giving out free cheesecake samples. And whomst among us wouldn't go
I
up.
think you're kind of obligated. You got to help them out.
You got
Yeah.
to,
Yeah, because you
it's
give back to the
like
community.
local
That's the type of
business,
guy you are.
Local
Yeah.
business, support
Yep.
local business.
Yeah.
So I went up, obviously 3 or 4 times. Genuinely the best cheesecake I've
Goes
ever
up with a
had.
fake mustache.
It
Can I have a
really
piece of cheesecake? I've never seen that.
I
No,
put
I've
it
got
over
a
my
hat.
beard.
I am a different person.
Genuinely the best cheesecake I've had in my entire life. And like the graham cracker crust, but he put like 3 different cheesecakes. I mean, I actually had 3 different samples of 3 different cheesecakes.
I believe you.
Each one had a different crust, and each one had like a different kind of top
I'm
layer.
so hungry now.
Oh my God.
You
And
put
I was
your money
like,
where your mouth is, though. Like you bought some. I hope.
so I asked him, hey, who's Kyle?
How much for all the
Who's-
cheesecake?
Who's the
How
famous
much
Kyle? And
for
he's
the
like,
whole thing?
meh, I'm Kyle. And I was like, wait a minute.
What?
What? You're a Kyle? You?
Why are you so bored, Kyle?
You're a genius.
You should sell these. But then I realized, why would you sell them if you could just give samples out? And that's the sales job you have to do.
Wait a minute. He wasn't selling them at all?
Oh yeah, so he was selling a few of them, but like he wasn't like sales pitching them. He wasn't like, come try these cheesecakes. He was like, here, free cheesecake. You're gonna stuff this in your stupid mouth and you're gonna love it because it's the best cheesecake you've ever had. And you're gonna order legitimately. I have pre-ordered 3 for
So is it a
between-
restaurant? Is Kyle's Cheesecake a
No.
restaurant?
It is. They don't have a storefront.
It's
They had this is
DTC.
free advertising for
Yeah.
Kyle, by the way. If
Right.
you're in the greater Pittsburgh area,
Right.
you can just order cheesecakes and he will either
Was this
deliver
like-
them. He will deliver them to your doorstep.
So was this
Wow.
like a drunk Anish enjoying a good,
I
an
never
okay
said
cheesecake, or
I
was
never
this like
said
a really,
alcohol.
really good cheesecake?
No. This is genuinely. I am a cheesecake connoisseur, my friend.
Okay.
This is genuinely the best cheesecake I've ever had.
So I'm gonna, and you guys have both heard this from me. I know Jay has because he gets very angry. So I'm gonna say it just to make him mad. Cheesecake's disgusting.
It is not disgusting. You're an
Cheesecake
animal.
is
It's whipped.
amazing.
It's whipped cheese over a delicious crust. So what you do is you just flip it over, eat the wonderful
There's
graham
some
cracker
sugar in
crust,
there, too.
and then
There's-
throw it at Jay in his face.
Oh, it's
Now,
so
That's
good.
fine.
Roast
Throw it at
cheese
my
or whipped
face.
cheese.
You
Rub it in my
you've eaten Cheesecake Factory cheesecake, my friend. You
No,
can't
I've
eat it
had
out of a
good- I've had
factory
good-
right
I've
off of
had
the
Atkins
factory
and
floor.
Crap.
You could eat. First of all, Cheesecake Factory has some good ones.
It's real
Yes.
good, man. Don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
I disrespected the Cheesecake Factory.
It's not bad. I mean, there are a
No.
few chains.
I'll
We've
get
had this
cake at
conversation
Cheesecake Factory.
that are.
Just cake. I'll get like a dark chocolate cake.
Cake Factory.
And
He's the
I'll
kind
get
of
some
idiot who goes in
raspberry
there-
compote.
He's the kind of dad who goes in there and is like, "Do you have anything besides cheesecake? What's on the
I
dessert
don't
menu?"
get Cheesecake Factory. I don't get cheesecake at the Cheesecake Factory. I get that it's like Martha's or Alice's 7-layer chocolate cake. It's very good.
Oh,
I enjoy each of the 7 layers. Yes, I have legitimately. I pre-ordered 3 of them for 3 separate occasions. 3 separate occasions.
Oh, is
I've
he going to
already
deliver them at 3
pre-ordered.
different times?
I'm going to go pick them up because I have a little bit of self-respect. I can't have cheesecake delivered to me.
I have a truck stopping outside your house with a guy
You come,
making
you just
3
got
trips.
like a stained white T-shirt on, and
The
no
same one.
pants,
Exactly.
on his
flip
porch.
flops.
I'm just sitting there with a fork eating cheesecake on my porch.
Here's $1. Thanks for bringing it to my door.
I've got to do it. Anyway, that's my cheesecake story.
What
Shout
flavors
out.
did you get at cheesecake?
I got one kind of a double chocolate, one.
See, that's the
whatever.
only way to make it good. Double
Oh,
chocolate can make it.
I
almost
love it.
edible.
There's one which is like an alternate layer of like chocolate and caramel, and then one he's gone. He doesn't want
You
to hear
did
it.
that. You would do. He's left.
He's gone. He doesn't need to hear any of this.
Well, that's okay. We don't need him anyway.
No,
That's
we never needed him in the first
exactly
place.
what-
He was just drawing from the, from
Boy,
the
what's
salary
teach?
pool that we had, and he was doing this. So I will be there at Northwestern. I will be feeling good. I hope that Purdue has a chance of not making me watch any part of the game. And,
That'd be great. There's nothing. So I have this discussion. It's like a decade-long discussion with my father-in-law about what's a good Purdue football game. And my favorite Purdue football game is Purdue beating the hell out of whoever it is. That's it. I don't want to
And
close.
look-
the game.
Vortex says I can't handle the cheesecake talk. I had to go eat some cheesecake. I was so excited.
J Buddy loves cheesecake.
drooling
We've had
down
this.
your-
In fact, we've had a cheesecake discussion, and that's how you know we are both not healthy men.
Cheesecake is wonderful. So is pumpkin pie. I saw someone take a shot
I
at
love
pumpkin
pumpkin
pie.
pie. I love
Pumpkin
that
pie
one.
is delicious.
I don't like that. Sorry.
Maybe it's
Oh.
the texture because it,
Yeah.
it-
It's like someone's chewed something up and spat it in your mouth. That's what pumpkin.
Yeah,
pie.
baby. If
Or
it's
they
J-
chewed it up,
if it's J
digested
Buddy.
it, and
Don't knock it till you try it.
defecated into your mouth. That's what.
Oh,
that's
you're
what
disgusting.
Yeah, think of that when you're enjoying your pumpkin pie this year, friends.
Steve McCabe, I am in championship shape. I am at perhaps an all-time high. Championship.
That's
All-time championship high. I've moved into the heavyweight division.
That's right. Winners do what it takes to in the off season is what that means.
that's right.
In the summer, when everybody's putting their on the bikinis, not Jay. He's like, nope.
No, he's still putting them on.
Oh, he is. Okay. Good.
It's fine.
Bikini and a big hat, just to shade.
A bikini and a big hat. That's
Yeah.
exactly. That's the title of my memoir.
Yeah.
A bikini and a big hat.
Do you have any more Twitter questions? Because I feel
Oh,
like
I'm sorry. Are you getting tired of this conversation?
I mean,
So
we've
it's-
only been talking about the Northwestern.
we've been talking
game
about
for an hour
cheesecake
and
for
6
25 minutes. I think.
So that boiler in France.
Welcome to the
says-
Boiled Sports Cheesecake Hour.
Did we
That
even
sounds
intro this?
great.
I don't think we did.
I don't think
Welcome
we
to the
ever
Boiled Sports Handsome Hour. That was a long, cold opening.
did. That's the intro.
We're just getting started here. One day we should do a what Lebitard did and just do like a the longest possible thing we. I still think. By the way, I'm going to put this out there. Now that we got listeners, we should still do a live. We should do a Manning cast of
Of
a
a game.
Purdue game where we're
I'm
doing
in.
this during a Purdue game. Figure out how we could pay for something in niche instead
That's
of just
a
doing the
great
free version
idea.
and have the
and
game broadcasting in the
That's a
corner.
great idea, and the just thinking about that idea makes me tired. We should take a break.
So I don't know if
We should take-
I don't think Ryan knows
We should
this.
take 5.
So we will, Anish and I will message back and forth about.
Huge
I can-
ambitions.
We'll be like, what we could get for the podcast, and we'll go back and forth with like 3 or 4 really good names, and we'll both be like, yeah, they totally would. We could get those guys, and then we'll be like, I think I
I mean,
was the one who's-
guess for the Handsome Hour or another
yeah,
show.
but it's always like some grand ideas, and then I usually say something like, "It's good to talk about." We'll never do it. So when you
Yes.
started being like, it's basically like we brainstorm like we're in a conference room, and then it's like, "Whew, good job, everybody."
Good job.
Take
I
5.
mean, that's it. There
Coffee
never
break.
comes.
Adjourned.
You leave
Take
the
a loose
boardroom.
time for
It's
a
a-
loose 15, everybody.
It's like a
Exactly.
Silicon Valley company. It's like all ideas. We don't actually
Yes.
produce anything,
No.
just
Hey,
ideas.
who
We
wants to play
produce
ping
ideas
pong?
and good discussion.
So the boiler in France says, ignoring the rivalry, which you can't do, but fine. Which team would you be more disappointed in the Boilers losing to, Northwestern or IU? Both are having very down seasons.
Northwestern.
Well, I mean, if you ignore the rivalry, yes, but I can't.
You can't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The IU thing will feel much worse if they lose.
Oh,
I don't-
exactly.
Because that's
If it
IU's
was
bowl game.
Northwestern. You'd be pissed for a day or
Yes.
two.
And guess what? If they lose to IU, that'll be IU's promo video next year.
But if they lose to Northwestern, that IU game becomes a lot more high pressured. You know what I mean?
I don't-
See, I think they lose to Northwestern, they beat the hell out of IU.
Maybe.
I agree.
I think
I
they
think-
beat the hell out of them
and-
both. But
And how
I
will
think
you
they
feel?
should.
You'll be fine with it. If they lose Northwestern and just pummel IU, you'll be like, fine,
Yeah, okay.
fine.
Totally.
But I want them, and I think they should. I think they
I
should
think they're
beat
gonna
both, and I think they should beat both because if we get into any sort of arms race with Northwestern can't keep up with their offense.
No.
And then if you go to IU doesn't have an offense. They have a pretty decent defense, but they don't have an
No.
offense.
They got
So
lit up.
again, you want to score with us? Give it a try. It'll be
They got
like
lit up over the
a
weekend.
poor man's version of Ohio State versus Purdue.
So Alex Mason AD is his handle. He says, "How fun would it be to beat North Carolina Saturday night and get to play Nova on Sunday, so we can play against the most handsome men's basketball coach in America. Sure.
How
That's
dare you?
fine.
Matt Painter is the most handsome basketball
How
coach
dare
in
you.
America.
Yeah, he looks.
I would like to
beautiful to me.
Beating North Carolina and Villanova in the same weekend. That'll get even more attention for that program if that were to happen.
That would be ridiculous. That's one of those. Do you remember a couple years ago? And maybe I'm foreshadowing. I don't know. Butler in the preseason NIT with Brad Stevens as the coach ran through the preseason NIT, beat like 2 ranked teams to win the championship, and then everybody was watching Butler, and they were highly ranked. I think they were like 12th after the preseason NIT, and then later that year they went to the championship and lost to Duke.
Which is what we are going to do.
That's
go to
what's
the
gonna
championship.
happen. I just
and
called
lose
my
to Duke.
shot. That's what's going to happen.
Go to the championship and lose to Duke on a half-court heave from Caleb First.
The funny thing is, like,
the token white guy on the
I think we'd all say, yeah, we'd be okay with Purdue losing the championship. But Jay he's not even recovered from Virginia game.
Oh, I was sitting next to him the whole time. A part of
He's
him
still
died.
not right.
But
and
the
this
problem
is not a joke.
this year, I think it's gonna go back.
He's still not right.
I saw the hope blossom in him, and then just get stabbed.
There's like a retrospective on me one day, and Brother Dad's there in the soft lighting.
He
was never the same.
That was the moment.
And then
never really heard
talking
from
about there'll be like some like footage from
like
Coach Painter's son
piano.
who was like right in front of you or something, where you guys all hanging
Tom
out
Rinaldi
together.
intros it.
Exactly.
The amount of
What if
money.
I told you?
Some say he was.
If Purdue plays in Vegas and then Purdue plays in a Final Four in my favorite city in these United States, New Orleans, like the amount of money I will spend traveling to Purdue games this year,
And it'll be all worthwhile.
Oh, every
worthwhile.
cent of it.
Mitch brings the whale up, Anish, the famous Anish whale. If we lose in the netty, go ahead and get the whale into the Wabash. Now, I will just, I know he's doing a little callback there to Anish's
Absolutely not.
No, if they go to the national title game and lose, that is a
I'll
phenomenal.
be thrilled.
It's, you're only playing great teams at that point, and if you lose that game, you were in the national title game. You still get a Final Four.
Have we ever really talked about Booger's question on the Handsome Hour?
Yeah.
We have.
Okay, we have really talked about that?
Yeah.
Yes. He was live on a Handsome Hour screaming it out.
Oh, that's right.
I think we were at your house.
I think
we
were.
Yes.
And what we could do is, since we're already an hour and 12 into this, we should ask that question a little further into basketball season and make that the focus.
Bring it back up because it feels a little more real right now. I got guys. I watch that offense and I watch the depth, and I am not putting the brakes on the ideas that I have in my head at all. Like I'm not.
No,
but that being said, I hope we take a few early losses.
They're going to.
This is the kind of team where I hope a few early losses happen.
Painter's hoping for it.
Oh my gosh!
He wants them to not believe the hype.
It's like when Bama lost this year, which was
Saban loved it.
It was Saban.
Perfect time
Saban
to lose.
Never looked happier. Looked happier.
And the funny thing about Alabama losing, it's so amazing to me. Every time I see it, every football season, because they seem to just throw it away just for fun, right? Because they're like, oh, they lost for like a day, they're second or third, and then like, okay, now let's get them back. Let's get them back there. Let's get them back. Let's do everything we can to put Alabama back on the front. And they're like acting like it never happened. I'm like, it makes me so mad because I'm like,
good enough.
They're good. They're good. Okay, you can't just F around and throw a game away because it matters. It matters.
I think it's been proven it doesn't.
It doesn't matter because nobody gives a shit when Alabama loses.
Ryan Day was being interviewed on SportsCenter tonight, and I love this. He was being interviewed, and the cryon on the bottom said, beat number 19 Purdue for third ranked win in 5 weeks. And I was like, look at Purdue being tossed up there. They
this
beat
is
a
what I
ranked
said.
team.
I said this to people off this show. I said they put Purdue in that thing just to set up the argument that Ohio State deserves to be in the top 3, not 4, comfortably in the playoff.
Look at them beating these ranked teams.
Look at this. This is a great Purdue team. They're great.
That's why they should have left Purdue unranked.
Maybe Michigan State and Iowa.
Cowards.
Yep.
And it was the playoff ranking, which is fake anyway.
And that's the thing. I've never seen that any other time where that was the ranking that they used on ABC, but they sure as hell used it last week.
Purdue was
number 19 Purdue. And I was like, did you notice none of us were like Neat. Nobody talked about it in the boiled sports circle because we always thought this is stupid. This isn't real.
I like it. It's neat.
I mean, it's
neat.
cool, but it's not real. It's like me writing
Oh.
number 19 in Sharpie on my TV screen. Doesn't
They're
matter.
ranked.
Yeah, exactly. You're ranked college football playoff. You're ranked 19th. That ranking is so stupid because you're not even close to the college football playoff.
I said to you guys, it's that it goes out to 25 is perhaps the dumbest of the dumb parts of college football because the top four, Purdue's 19, or they were 15 slots. I'm doing my math right, which I screwed up the joke. They're 15 slots away from being in the playoff, which sounds pretty close. But there is no earthly way they could be in the playoff. Like that suggests they're 15 away right now. So if everyone above them lost out, they still wouldn't get there.
No, they wouldn't get there.
So it's dumb. Make it the top 10. I'm fine
dumb.
with that. Do 10 because 7, 8, 9, 10 might have a claim.
But like Michael,
25?
who you guys have heard about him, he kind of exists. Boiled Sports, Michael.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not a real person. Anyway, but in our text threads, he says the reason they do it, of course, he's right, because you want to talk. They want us talking about it. That's the only reason they rank out to 25. It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
None of it matters. But the top four really does. So it's ludicrous to put it out.
Absolutely, the top four is all that matters. Right?
Before we go, I want to bring up Trent Lee's comment. Anisha, if you could bring that up, he says, because there's nothing like Boiler Dad Chicago rant. Why does Boiler Dad hate Chi-Town? We can change your mind this weekend.
No, you can't.
You're only a couple hours away and you're not going.
I don't like that place.
He hates Chicago.
And it's not just like recent. I don't
forever
like
he's hated Chicago.
I had a job offer. This is how much I hate Chicago. I had a job offer in hand. Okay. I used to work for a big shoe company. That was my first job out of college. I had a job offer in Chicago for a decent shoe company. Like they written offer, the whole thing. And I decided to move to Indianapolis back home without a job instead of moving there because I didn't want to live in Chicago.
When Boiler Dad hates something,
I hate it a lot.
And the funny part is, for those of you who are thinking, well, he just doesn't like big cities. He likes New York. He loves New York.
I love New York.
Lived in Boston.
I love Boston. That's the thing. People are awful in Boston, but I like Boston. Boston is an incredible city to visit. I like Hong Kong. It's a great city. San Francisco, great city to visit. Seriously, because it's incredible where they sit. I hate Chicago. I'm sorry. I don't really unload this way on these things. I know we've got a lot of Chicago people and Bears fans and all that are Purdue fans. It's okay. It's okay. We can all be buddies. And, meet at the Purdue table. I hate Chicago. It's okay.
One of the great joys of having the Spoiled Sports Twitter feed all these years is that there are so many Bears fans in it, and all of us dislike the Bears. And not like I don't have an active. I'm not like a Colts fan, so I don't really care. But I do seeing that for me, that's kind of like the whole thing with Tennessee, where I don't have anything really, but it's fun to watch them trip over their dongs.
Right.
And it's so funny because Bears fans are unique in that they will talk themselves, maybe because they're loyal fans, they will talk themselves into the quarterback du jour. They do it. And they actually believe it
every time. It's like George Costanza used to say, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yes.
That's what Chicago Bears fans do.
They talk themselves into
every time. Every
time. They
time.
get mad at you. And they're like, this is the guy. This is
my favorite thing is I will feed that. I'll say, wow, he does look pretty good. Check him out. Other media types think this guy's going to be good too. You guys should really think this is the guy that gets you there. Go ahead. Invest in that. Put some emotion into that.
So you didn't answer Trent's question. Let's just get back to that. Why do you hate Chicago?
I'm not going to get into all of it.
Just a feeling.
I'm not going to get into all of it. I'm not going to get into all of it because I think I'd go to another level. See, the thing is, you guys all know I'm really opinionated. You two know that I'm extremely opinionated, and I can get into the offensive opinionated thing really quickly. No. So I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not going to do it.
This is personal growth. This is what personal growth is.
That's right. This is what it looks like.
Right here.
This is showing some discipline.
This is me acting like an adult, which is sad.
It's that live thing in the upper corner that's doing it for him.
Yes.
Because he used to be able to say whatever he wanted, and then he'd be like, you guys edit that out. I'll find it 80 minutes in.
And the funny thing is, the archives are there. You guys are horrible editors, and you love making me look like an ass.
Yeah.
Like it's
not that
my own rope.
I was going to say, we didn't really
it's me doing it. I know that. So, but that's the thing. These two guys, they know the score, and there's, I think, there's a couple people in the margin know me well enough that know how bad my opinions are. Like they're abrasive, and so, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. That's all.
All right.
all
We've done this clown show enough.
I think we've done enough damage for the evening.
We've done a lot of damage, but let's end it on a positive thing.
Purdue by 11 is the spread. Just want to put that out.
You
there.
guys,
What's the over under?
35 or something?
No,
Is it low?
35.
I thought that I saw that. I know.
Like
I don't
55, I would guess. Let me look here.
I really don't know.
I'm looking. This.
Funny thing is, every now and again, while Jay's looking up, this really happens. Like once a week, someone will say a betting thing, and Jay thinks it's funny. He thinks like I have a huge learning disability or am special needs. Somebody will say something, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying right now. Like I just don't get it. I don't bet on things. It's not a bit. I really don't.
You understand what being favored means.
I understand that. I understand over under. The basics are there. But when people start saying, "Oh, they're plus 20, blah, 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 or they're minus whatever," I really don't get that stuff. I don't.
So
it's math.
Purdue's favored by 11, and the over under is 47.5, which I actually still find low. But I think Northwestern doesn't score a lot, so that's why that's there. But Purdue scored 31 last week, and really, remember David Bell dropped that fourth quarter touchdown that he would never normally drop. It would have been 38 against Ohio State. So could they score 38 against Northwestern? I think so.
I hope this offense now.
Maybe they don't think Northwestern's going to score.
I hope because the only danger is that they're not going to put kind of full foot on the gas because they're Northwestern, and so Purdue, it's kind of a case of Purdue playing to the opponent, and this is the first really weak opponent. But
do you feel that way?
I hope no, I don't.
That. They have stepped on whoever they could. Like they didn't play down to UConn. They didn't.
3 straight games of 13 points.
But that was one thing. That was not a bit. That was not like them holding back the reins. That was like a broken.
They just didn't
offense.
get it. Yeah. Which is why now is different. I don't think so. I don't think there's a risk of that. That being said, I don't know. We'll see. I'll be there. We'll figure it out.
Well,
I look forward to some. You'll give some videos. Maybe we can retweet them.
Sure. I don't know. These are all content ideas that will happen.
That's right.
Just keep an eye on the Twitter feed. We'll hope it's not hacked.
Yeah. No, Vortex video is always.
By the way, did you notice this? And this is a stupid thing, just because it's Northwestern is what. That's my segue. But Cobb from Northwestern is on IU now.
Oh, really?
And he looks like Pat Knight reincarnated, which is ridiculous. Like his shorts are a little too short. He's kind of wooden when he walks, but he's like still pretty good at basketball. But the thing that I think is going to happen in IU, here's my gut tells me, is they're maybe going to win. Though they have the next 6 games against like cardboard cutouts of basketball teams. Their schedule is a joke again. Okay, so hopefully IU fans get all lathered up and have a great time. I want them to get their hopes way, way up. I want IU to get like to 26, receiving votes, that type of fun. And then I want them to get kicked so hard in the nuts.
What did Rabjohn say? They were number 2 and also receiving votes.
They were good. They were either that or did he say they were 27th?
Yeah, it was the funniest. It was the funniest possible way of saying that they weren't the top 25. It was the funniest possible.
I'm telling you, they're not going to lose the next 7, 8 games or 6 games. They're not going to lose.
Fine by me.
These teams are horrible, and so they're going to be ranked, and then they can get just throttled by somebody who's a middling, like Maryland, right? Who's shown that they're not very good. Right, just beat the crap out of them, right? And then we'll have the same psychological thing where they quit playing defense like they've done every freaking year the last 4 years. IU fans are telling this narrative that IU doesn't care about defense, that was Archie's problem is they didn't try hard on defense. Bull crap. Archie was a defensive-minded guy, and almost every year they would start the season with defense and effort, and then they would circle the drain and suck. Let's see it happen again. But this time, let's see it with a new coach looking clueless on the side.
I love it.
Christmas wish.
We've done enough damage.
We've done enough. Hey, bit of pleasure. Thanks to Martin Vintage. Thanks to Gridiron Metalworks. Thanks to AJ's. And thanks to Anish and Jay, for joining me, Boiler Dowd, on another successful, fantastic, wonderful, handsome hour. It's delicious. It's cheesecakey wonderful. Purdue plays Northwestern at noon in Wrigley Field for no damn reason. I love you guys. Good night.